the airport's effectively taking control of the situation from the airlines that fly from here. I've had a thorough briefing from the airport as to what their plans are for July and August. And effectively, they're stressing that the problem that has arisen is the fact that there aren't enough ground handling staff, right? The airlines haven't employed enough ground handling staff. So the airport did some research and said to the airlines, you need to reduce your flight numbers for July and August at the busiest periods so that the amount of staff you have matches the number of flights that are travelling. And we won't have the scenes that we had during the Jubilee weekend. Now, the number of flights that they've asked them to reduce them by, it's only 5%. 5% of the flights that go from here in July and August will be affected. And even if you are affected, and you'll find out in an email that will drop into your inbox in the next few days, you will be asked to fly at a slightly different time on the same airline. So instead of 7 o'clock on a Friday night, it'll be 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. And the alternative could be that maybe you fly with a different airline on the same route at a slightly different time. A very small number of that 5% may have to significantly change their plans, but the vast majority of people will travel more or less on time from this airport as scheduled. The point is that the airport and the airlines are giving 6 weeks notice of this. So we don't get the chaos. We're not talking about chaos. We're not talking about turning up at the airport at the last minute. This is 6 weeks notice that if your flight is cancelled, then you will be able to make plans, you will be able to make adjustments, and it probably won't affect your holiday too much. So the airport really stressing that. There has been some misreporting in the media of talking about chaos and things like that, and they do admit that in the past, over the Jubilee weekend, there were some mistakes, but they're determined to make sure that doesn't happen now. In fact, the Department for Transport and the Civil Aviation Authority have written to airlines saying you need to de-risk the summer schedule for passengers, and so they've said to airlines you need to reschedule according to the amount of staff you have. Here at Gatwick, they're getting ahead of the curve. When it comes to security, which they are in charge of, they've hired an extra 400 people. The target's 450. Those 400 people start in the next couple of weeks. And then if you're not flying from Gatwick and you're flying from elsewhere in the UK, probably you can expect some flight cancellations there. We've seen cancellations from TUI in Manchester, from British Airways at Heathrow already. So the airlines will make adjustments to their schedule and make cancellations accordingly. But they do seem to be hopefully getting ahead of the curve now. And it's about making sure passengers don't turn up to the airport disappointed. You know what it's like, Alex. You get to the airport, you're excited, you're going on holiday, only to find the flight's cancelled. And so closing that gap between disappointment and excitement is what the airlines and the airports are trying to do.